Okay. I'm going to go over the communication plan. So the task is to develop a communications plan, marketing tools, and rewards recognition system to promote supplier diversity. Marketing the value of a supplier diversity program. How to. In many situations, stakeholders may have a limited understanding of what a supplier diversity program entails. Supply management professionals to be able to market the value of the supplier diversity program strategies and initiatives must be able to, I think. They also must be able to clearly present to management the value proposition that diverse supplier initiatives bring to the organization by facilitating strategic objectives and goals. Communication plans and strategies. Target audience. Identify key contacts in supply management for supplier diversity initiatives so stakeholders can easily contact the appropriate individual. The plan also often includes policies related to the engagement of diverse suppliers, along with the organization's own plans for a supplier diversity program. The budget. If the organization budgets for strategic initiatives, the objective should be ensuring the supplier diversity program is integrated into the overall process. For those without dedicated resources, a general discussion should occur during the annual budget planning process to determine how much should be allocated. And purchasing may also want to partner with human resources who may have a budget for overall diversity within the company. Key messaging. So messages should include the overall corporate diversity strategy and how supplier diversity program aligns to create positive environment for all. Other items to consider are corporate mission, vision, goals, supply management, mission, vision, goals, and any specific goals for supplier diversity. Strategic strategies regarding events, engagement, development opportunities, and success stories should be included. And measures of success. The ultimate measures of success would be achieving stated goals within each organization relative to diversity and supplier diversity. Communication types, online vehicles, so intranet, external website, social networking, etc. Electronic communication can vary from web-based application to email. The kinds of electronic communication that are relevant to the buying organization include things like long-term agreements with negotiated prices, various catalogs, commercial off-the-shelf high-volume items, transmissions of RFPs, online auction bidding, internal training, instilling organization-wide awareness. The intranet. Organizations are increasingly using intranets to share information on diverse supplier programs. These intranets may include things like newsletters, stored presentations, and data sheets. Stakeholders can download things like current market conditions, strategic decisions that took place, resulting decisions and actions, and scorecards. Advertisements. Online advertising on the internet has become the primary source of diverse supplier opportunity information in the U.S. And advertising can be either open or closed. So open advertising lists the organization's name, while closed advertising does not. Meaning the organization that's running the ad. Published articles in trade journals can be leveraged, communicating how supplier diversity has been utilized, including wins and potential issues. Printed material, the annual report, the annual financial report, is an important tool that organizations use to communicate with their stakeholders. Increasing the supplier diversity program is one of the areas covered in the annual reports. Typically, the program policy is stated along with reports on performance. Often the performance of the organization's supplier diversity program is also reported on. Internal reporting, reports prepared for internal customers present the program's performance and identify areas that need improvement. And when improvements are identified, ways for management to help these improvements should be included. Some ideas to help improve programs include limiting some competitions to the diverse supplier, set asides, conducting outreach activities, targeting personnel in specific areas for awareness training. Internal reporting characteristics include audience variance depending on the organization, contains metrics and measures against actual achievements versus goals, and may include reporting good faith efforts. May contain comments on performance, may result in additional compensations for the supplier, tied to individual performance, educational tool, outreach, success stories, honors, challenges, successful activities. So external reporting, reports prepared for entities outside the organization, reports required by customers, industry groups, the government, reports for marketing and promotional purposes. And external report content can vary between industries or government entities, but some common characteristics contain metrics of actual achievements versus goals, include statements of good faith efforts, may be tied to additional compensation such as award fees. If reports contain confidential information, they may need to be marked as confidential. And business development reporting. Organizations such as the NMSDC and WBENC utilize reports to recognize high-performing companies and thus market to new clients. The extra work required for this reporting can be beneficial to the organization. For example, the organization may gain an advantage in market share through the marketing effort of the business development organization. It can be recognized for its achievements and may gain added value by increasing its supply chain. Business development organization utilizes reports to recognize high-performing companies and to market to new clients, demonstrating the worth of the certification by the organization. Some organizations, such as the NMSDC and the WBENC and the like, and government reporting, different entities have different requirements for reporting. A municipal government's reporting requirements are very different from the federal government. And awards, many studies have shown that being recognized for achievements have a considerable impact on the employee commitment. So performance recognition of stakeholders and suppliers, organization-wide departmental reward programs, often these are recognized for things like cost reduction, customer support, use of diverse suppliers. Incentive programs are designed to share the benefit of cost reduction and other financial improvements, including supplier diversity improvements, with those who help bring them about. However, improperly designed programs can lead to counterproductive behavior on the part of the parties involved. So you got to think these things through. Benefits of awards recognition program. Employee recognition can be given in many ways. Some methods include just saying thank you, giving praise, providing opportunities, or showing respect. Awards personalize an organization by recognizing that everyone can make a difference and be viewed as a model by others. Awards allow management to reinforce behaviors that benefit the organization. Incentive programs, ideas for budget-conscious employee incentives. Not all firms can afford expensive incentive programs. Some alternates which can boost morale and improve productivity are things like giving plaques, asking someone to launch small gifts with thank you notes, post supplier letters of praise on a bulletin board, hold periodic meetings to tell employees they're doing a good job, take employees on outings like movies, bowling, skating, run articles about employees in an organizational newsletter. Supplier awards business case. Many organizations use rewards programs to ensure continuous improvement in supplier quality. Other benefits provided by the supplier rewards program may include things like giving suppliers goals to work toward, More ambition from suppliers about providing quality products, maybe. Incentive for suppliers to look for unique ways to be useful. Increase supplier awareness in the organization, opportunities to build better relationships, a tool for making supplier consolidation decisions, and potential supplier involvement in new product design. So keep the prestige high, helps keep the organization program successful, and methods to accomplish this are keep the prestige up. Confer only a few awards. They don't give participation awards. Award only high-performing suppliers. Present the awards in a highly visible setting like a dinner or a luncheon. And hold evaluations in a timely manner, like at least annually. In addition to limiting the number of awards given, other tactics for maintaining the prestige of supplier rewards include things like use high caliber suppliers in the evaluations. This reinforces the idea that competition is of high quality. And present the awards in a highly visible setting. This helps to ensure that the prestige of the award is recognized and remains high. And hold award evaluations in a timely manner. Awards should be given frequently enough to keep suppliers encouraged and motivated. However, they should not be given so frequently that the award is no longer seen as an accomplishment. The award of the week. Most organizations hold their award ceremonies annually. How to start an awards program. Identify goals of having a program. What is the organization trying to achieve with the program? If the goals are known, it becomes much easier to plan a strategy to achieve them. Formulate a strategy to achieve the goals in step 1. And consider 4 basic components of the program: evaluation criteria, evaluation process, what the reward will be, and how often the reward will be given. Determine which suppliers will be targeted and whether the program will begin as a partnering and supplier development initiative. Obtain senior management support and promote the program internally to targeted suppliers. All right. What percentage of the audience receives the intended communication using the C3 communication philosophy? Well, we didn't really cover that, but I think C3 is communicate, communicate, communicate. Kind of rip that off from real estate. At best 60%, at best 40%. I would say it's either 60 or 80. Let's go with 60. Nope, it's 80. Communicate, communicate, communicate. At best, 80% of the audience receives the intended communication. All right. And usually we do this in two days. So this would be the second half, but always pounding through it here. Promotional items, organizations can use swag, stuff we all get, mugs, pens, and calendars to provide visibility for their diversity programs. Outreach initiatives, contacting community stakeholders and suppliers to help keep the organization's diversity program relative. Some outreach methods include things like attend the organization's website, should be attractive, be easy for the target audience to navigate, have clear and easy content to read, and include which is useful to buyers, suppliers, and customers, or include content. So plan effective outreach business trips, develop a periodic newsletter, participate in business opportunity fairs and trade shows if they're in your area. Promotional items, foster employee awareness through internal training programs, nurture consistent, inclusive communication with upper management, and develop second-tier large firm suppliers in the diversity program. It's potential additional business opportunities. Receipt of communications. So targeting the right group to communicate with and tailoring the communication that group is important. So senior management will be concerned about overall organizational goals and how the diversity program will help meet those goals. Identify activities and how they contribute to specific company goals. And feedback regarding the results of past activities should include things like what was expected to be achieved, what was achieved, and why actual results were more or less than expected. Proposals for new initiatives or changes to processes should be developed as business cases and presented to management. And guidelines for communication with management, be thorough. I'll assume the executive is completely familiar with the details. Synchronize team efforts, focus on the salient points, use graphs and charts, and exercise good form. Work to inform executives about the value and status of principal diverse supplier initiatives. Internal stakeholders, regular communication with the internal customers should be used to promote the supplier diversity program. Internal customers should be updated on diverse supplier sourcing events with status results and additional opportunities. Regular communication can be accomplished in many ways: electronic newsletters, emails, websites, blogs, etc. To guide employees and ensure their contribution to the program's success, the supply management professional should do the following: involve all employees, formulate a consistent message, train the employees, pair diverse supplier business owners with executive mentors, maintain focus on supplier diversity programs and employees, enlist supplier diversity program advocates, provide positive feedback to employees in general and buyers in particular, coach employees or buyers who are not reaching desired performance. Suppliers, one of the elements contributing to the success of an organization's supplier diversity program is a healthy database of diverse suppliers. In order to maintain and build such a database, purchasing needs to devise ways and techniques to reach out to the suppliers. But here are some ways to reach out to the suppliers. The buyer can work with diverse suppliers to improve their technical and manufacturing skills, assist diverse suppliers with any compliance problems, organize training specifically for diverse suppliers in the form of things like how to do business with our organization, outline company overview, organization, procurement, and products and services needed, and provide critical information to help suppliers become successful with the organization, like how to do business with XYZ. Participate in trade fairs, host trade shows and fairs, invite diverse suppliers to in-house training programs, procurement strategies, cost management courses, viability of e-commerce, quality assurance, financial skills, management skills, strategic planning, etc. All right, so community organizations, successful supplier diversity programs have positive impact on the local community. They enhance employment opportunities, obviously. They reflect the diversity of surrounding community, and they reflect the diversity of the organization's customer base. So customer standards and practices around sourcing with respect to diversity or other social responsibility and ethics need to be communicated to customers. Let them know what you're doing. And other stakeholders. Purchasing must be able to identify other people that could be stakeholders, may have an interest, be affected by the program, be able to influence the program. Could be shareholders, investors, customers, suppliers, etc. And then the communication plan development. So the written plan, it's got 9 steps. Write plan down, evaluate current communications, define objectives, define the audience, define goals, identify tools, develop cost estimates, establish a timetable, and evaluate results. So this is the ISM methodology here. 9 steps. Create a document of the plan. So you got to write the plan down. Use the most effective software to convey ideas, word processing for procedures, spreadsheets, tables, and presentation software to communicate like this, PowerPoint. Evaluate current communications. Step 2, conduct a communication audit to find out things like what is currently being communicated, what is each communication activity designed to achieve, and how effective is the current effort. Techniques to get answers to the above questions. You can brainstorm, you can interview key personnel, you can survey key personnel, or host focus groups. All right, define objectives and results. Some sample objectives may include things like promote support for diversity programs, define services to internal customers, enable better understanding of cycle times, increase employee teamwork, and you can read the rest of those. Define the audience. Step 4, list all the audiences that the organization might want to contact. Internal customers, management, overall organization, sales force, community groups, subcontractors, employees, spokespeople, publications, educators, etc. Define the goals is step 5. What are the intended changes and what are the intended accomplishments? You have to have goals. Then you got to identify the tools. What tools will be used to accomplish stated goals? Develop the cost estimates for each approach. Determine the benefit of each. Then establish a timetable. Once objectives, goals, and audiences and tools have been identified, quantify the results into a timetable that outlines roughly what will be accomplished and when. And then step 9, evaluate results. Build into the plan a method for measuring the results. Is it a monthly report, formalized department report, it's staff meetings, periodic briefings, what's it going to be? All right, the communications plan is effective, consistent communication to internal employees, marketing the supplier diversity program. And this is a plan. Oh, here's techniques, possible components of a verbal communication plan. All right. Stress these 4 important messages. Desire to add value and solve supply chain problems, commitment to supply chain efficiency, quality, cycle time, cost reduction. Diversifiers play a major role in success of the organization, and strategic initiatives being dependent on the ability to implement. So that's the verbal plan. Now we're going to move to the written communication plan. This is like writing down your speech. It's just a good idea, helps you organize your ideas. So in preparing for battle, I've always found that plans are useless, but planning is indispensable. So this is Eisenhower when he was General Eisenhower, but he actually got it from West Point. So the written communication plan. There we go. These are potential components of a written communication plan. It's actually pretty short. All right, it's a question. The objectives and results of the communication plan will include all of the following except define services to internal customers. I don't think so. Improve diverse supplier recruitment, Yeah, display communication metrics, yeah. Support supplier diversity program projects, yeah. I would say the answer here is A, because you're looking for an accept. And it's C. Communication metrics or reports would not be included in the communication plan. Management will track them separately in meetings. Yeah, if you say so. All right. Summary. Purchasing must be able to market the value of the supplier diversity program, strategies, and initiatives. Clearly present to management and internal customers the value proposition that diverse supplier initiatives bring to the organization. Technology via electronic communication and the internet plays a key role in today's communication process, altering the way communications can be distributed and received. And online advertising on the internet has become the primary source of diverse supplier opportunity information in the U.S. Regular communication with internal customers on the status, results, and additional opportunities will help keep the diverse supplier goals and initiatives on the mind of customer departments. All right. Ooh, that was a long one. Let's go get some questions. A2, like the mountain. All right. How many of these we got? 15. All right. Well, that'll keep you busy for a while. Do them individually, and we'll go over the answers shortly. Some answers. All right. Number 1 is Delta. 2 is Bravo. 3 is also Bravo. 4 is Charlie. 5 is also Charlie. 6 is Bravo. 7 is also Bravo. 8 is Charlie. 9 is Charlie. 10 is Delta. 11 is Bravo. 12 is Alpha. 13 is also Alpha. 14 is also Alpha. And 15 is also Alpha. All right. That concludes K2. Tomorrow we'll work on K3.